Okay, good evening. Mohon maaf lahir batin sebelumnya. Let's start our class today. But today, let me share the screen first. Entire screen. Okay, so this is our class. We have covered, what do we have covered? Intrusion detection system. We have covered encryption, basic data security. I think the last one is basic server security. Okay, so basically we have covered 3 topics. If you have any question, please put it in the chat box so I can see. There are several more topics to cover, but I will move to the easiest one. This is the easiest one. This is about information security management system. It's basically auditing the security of the system. This is the easiest one, but this one is most used by any institution and management. They always ask for auditing of the information security. So I will move to the auditing first. So next week I will go deep into the more technical again. Okay, but next week I will do the course from Bandung. Uh, I have to run a workshop in Bandung till 6 o'clock. So 6 to 8, I have to give the class in the place where I run the workshop and then go back to Jakarta. So yeah, I hope that there will be no problem in the internet connection and everything in Bandung. Okay, so today we will talk about information security management as well as risk management. So there are 2 things: information security management and risk management. Uh, Basically, these 2 is how we can audit the system. We can ask ChatGPT first. Where is it? Oh yeah, this morning I send you guys the grade. Whoops. No, I don't want. I don't want to log in. Ah, okay. Okay. The grading for this class is, I think, around 20% pass. Around another 20 need to redo the exam, something like that. So, or have not do the exam. So please do the exam. Around 20 is okay. The other 20 have to redo to do the exam because most of them have not done the exam yet. Okay, let me show you. Okay, continue. Ah, okay. Wow. Okay. Can I use without login? Okay. Now, so basically, sign up for stay log out. Okay. So basically, there are 2 things: ISO 20001 and ISO 30000. So this one is risk management, and sorry, this one is the information security, and this one is risk management. Okay, so basically these 2 becoming the basic, the base, the foundation when we need to audit the security of a system. For example, in enterprise, in the department, in the office and so on. So we use these two. So what is the main issue of ISO 27000 is basically it's quite complex. It has around 100 something control, and so it covers many things. It performing risk assessment, defining controls, creating appropriate documentation, and so on. So it's quite complex, and it's also for small medium organization. Uh, Sorry, for small medium organization may have some difficulty to do these things because this is quite complex. Okay, now I will give you some cheat on this thing, so hopefully it's become easier for you to do these things. So my class will be how to cheat these things basically. Okay, uh, it's quite resource intensive. They have to hire a lot of qualified personnel, purchase a lot of tools, software for risk management, and so on. So it's quite heavy and quite costly if we want to do it, properly. But there is way to do this thing more cost effective, basically. For example, the tool, the software, and so on, is many of them are actually open source, so it's basically free, and all we need is the template to get to prepare for the auditing process. So there is a template to do these things. Okay, and also we have to monitor continuously and improve continuously, and that makes the whole thing is quite heavy. Okay, the problem with security is how to balance between security and usability. Okay, security normally make things difficult to use. That's the essence of security. That's basically make everything difficult to use, make it more. It will not very efficient. Okay, sometimes make complicate things. Okay, that's security. And how can we make it usable with while we still securing the system? So this is the art. And for ongoing monitoring and maintenance, basically the certification is done by ISO 27000. But the whole process can be done automatically by software actually. Okay. And then there is a cultural and organizational challenge. For example, one of the main problem with this thing is the top management, the number one, the director, the head of the organization. So ISO 27000 require top-down commitment. Top-down means all of the paper, everything must be signed by the number one. Okay, because this is like my number one commitment, and that's most difficult for many organization. Okay, because number one is normally more management oriented. They don't really care about the security, so that's becoming a big problem for ISO 27000, and that's becoming a problem for government organization and so on, because the director, they are not aware about these things. They don't want to sign, they don't want to create the required document for the auditing process. And the problem with the ISO 27000 is documentation overload. Lots of documentation, lots of paperwork, now becoming soft copy, but still a lot of them. So that's mean we need to generate a lot of these things. Okay. we also have to adapt for evolving threats because the threat is evolve. For example, in the past, we don't have any ransomware. Today, we have lots of ransomware. That's becoming a problem. Okay, so that's basically the problem with the main things about the ISO 27000. But the main one is this one actually, the top down. Okay, this is very important, and also documentation. Those two basically, and that's will be not attacked. All the auditor of 27,000 will ask for these two, basically documentation and top management commitment. That means we need the number one to sign the commitment that if possible he actually the one who lead these things, and that's difficult actually. Okay, so this is difficult, and this one very massive and difficult. But today with ChatGPT, it's this one is much easier. Okay, that's ISO 27000, and the other one is ISO 31. Okay. ISO 31000 is basically to manage risk. Okay, we have to analyze the risk of the organization and how to manage risk. Okay, the problem is it requires detailed steps. That's a lot of work actually. Okay, and then we need to integrate the ISO 31000 into the existing organization structure. Uh, Align with ISO 9000 and ISO 27000. Okay, that's great and quite resource intensive. And the ISO 31000 require us to basically define the risk. Okay, and then we need to know what is the risk involved in our activities. For example, how uh, a brand, it can be brand, a brand will be what's that, if there is an attack to our system, what happened with our brand, how can we keep the trust from the customer, that kind of thing. So we need to analyze those things before it happens. So ISO 31000 basically analyze those kind of things before it happen. And then the problem is risk. Many organization, a lot of management, they tend to skip the risk. They don't care. Oh, it's not happened yet, so we don't care. So there's a lot of problem with this. Okay. Also, it continues. We need to monitor continuously, and then difficult to measure. Basically, the management think this is like cost center. Okay, and by defining the risk, sometimes they see this like risk overload. Okay, so that's basically the the big ideas of these two. Okay, so this is part of this class, part of this module, information security management system. So basically, this is the auditing part of the cybersecurity. Okay, now to give you some. Can I upload a file from here? I don't think so. No. I can only upload message, eh? Okay. Let me see if I have the file. If not, I will send by email then later. S.id. Let me see if I have the file here. If not, okay. No, the file is not here, so I will send you by email. So this is the file. Cyber Army. So this file is from Cyber Army, basically. Where is it? Okay, this one. Let me see. Should I? Okay, this is what the risk. I think I need to introduce Cyber Army first. So this file is I borrow from Cyber Army. They are quite active. So basically, Cyber Army is a company now, world-class cybersecurity innovation company. This is a company, and then they have several platform. For example, they have this platform, Helium. The ID, I think. Oops, no, not the ID. Helium. Okay, this one. Helium.sh. This is you can start for free. Get started for free, and you can enter your email and so on. But basically, this is the platform to do vulnerability analysis. This is part of the auditing for cybersecurity, basically. So they have a web-based platform that can automatically evaluate your websites, okay, automatically. Okay. And then it can show you the severity, the condition of your website, whether it can be attacked or it have vulnerabilities or whatever. It will give you the report. Okay, that's one of the platform. The other platform, they have Run Simulator. This is ransomware attack simulator. So we can simulate how to attack ransomware, for example. Okay. And this is more brutal because we can actually send ransomware to a company. Okay. But this is not the bad ransomware. This is a good ransom. Well, this is more not secure, basically. It's controlled ransomware. So the ransomware is controlled. It's not brutal, but it can the ransomware can be injected to a computer from the in the company, and then it can be injected into the computer, and then we can evaluate the preparedness of the people within the organization, if they are prepared to are they prepare for ransomware attack or not. So we can use this kind of simulator to do this thing. So this basically another tool to evaluate the cybersecurity readiness of a company. And the other one, this is more brutal actually, darkradar.io. Okay, this is more brutal. Let me see if I can log in on this one. I forgot. Maybe later. But basically in dark radar, we can browse into dark web. So it grab the information from dark web, and then if there is any leakage, data leakage from our company or our organization, this particular platform can identify whether our data is being leaked into dark web or not. So this is Dark Radar. So we don't have to install any Tor browser in our computer, but using the Dark Radar, we can check whether our data is leakage, if our password is leakage into the dark web, and so on. So we can check using this thing. Okay, so all of this made by friends in Cyber Army. Of course, they can also can do cybersecurity consultant, pen testing, and so on. Okay, including ISO 27000 and 31000 auditing. Okay, so this is Cyber Army. There are several companies like this in Indonesia. There is a Cyber Army. The other one that I'm quite close is Secure IT, and they have different products. All of these companies Indonesian company. They are all Indonesians, and they are quite smart. Secure IT, they make a lot of platform for. They are more hardware oriented. In security, it's more hardware platform, and they installed in the army headquarters and so on. So this is Secure IT. Okay, now back to the slide. So this is the slide from Cyber Army. They make a Cyber Academy. I happen to teach some of the course in Cyber Academy, so I have this slide from them. They love, so I can borrow some of the slide for this class. Okay, so this particular slide is on ISO 31000. It's more on the risk part, risk management. Basically, we need to evaluate the risk, and then from the risk evaluation, then we can create the strategy, basically the what things we need to implement. Okay, now the core duty of cybersecurity is to identify, mitigate, and manage cyber risk to organization digital assets. So that's we need to understand the duty of cybersecurity is this one: identify, mitigate, manage cyber risk. Okay. Sometimes when managing cyber risk, sometimes we need to accept the risk. If the risk not high enough, we need to say, okay, the investment to mitigate this kind of risk may be too low, too high, and then we just accept the risk. Okay, sometimes we do these things. Okay, accepting the risk. Okay, but still we need to understand what is the risk and how can we manage, identify, mitigate this risk. Okay, so this is the attributes of risk. There is risk to asset, threat, and vulnerability. Okay, the asset is our asset, our product, our equipment, our server platform, and so on. There are two things here. There is the critical assets. Okay, that if this particular asset is attacked, make everything's not working, and so the value. The value can be the value of the particular asset. Okay, for example, data. Data, maybe the cost is low, but the value is very, very high. Okay, So data is a digital asset. When we calculate the cost, is actually not that high. It's like a couple of gigabyte. So that's very low cost. But the value of this particular data is very high. If somebody stole the data, we are in big trouble. So that's value. Threat is the threat of the attack on our infrastructure. Okay, there are several things here. For example, adversary characteristic of the attack. Okay, there are several type of attacks. It can be, for example, SQL injection, ransomware. Each attack have different characteristics, and we need to make sure we can cover all of these attacks. The major problem we have right now is the ransomware. Okay, that's the major. So that's the major problem for us, for many of the organizations, is the ransomware, because most of the tool we have is having difficulty to identify, to detect ransomware. Okay, so we need to make sure we back up everything, and not only back up. The problem is identifying whether the ransomware is in our system, because it's difficult to detect. Okay, normally when it is in our system, it will encrypt all the file, and when that's happened, make sure we have the backup. Okay, and don't worry, a lot of the company in Indonesia, it's not in the media, it's not in the Tcom or Kumparan or whatever. Is all of them are silent, but many have attacked by ransomware, and many have lost some of their data. Okay, so that's the most brutal part of the threat. Okay, now the likelihood of the attack. To be honest, you can read this. The likelihood is, we can read this from BSSN report. Okay. BSSN is the national body for cybersecurity, Indonesian cybersecurity. They normally have yearly report. Okay, let me see if I can. This is 2023. There is another report in 2024 actually, but this gives you some ideas. Basically, we have, let me see if I can. Okay, this kind of thing. Trend in, okay. See this? We have we have 4 million advanced precision attack. We have 403 million anomaly traffic. Okay, see this? This is, we have hundred of million red Trojan attack. So we have only 364 days per year. So we can imagine every day we have million of attack. Okay, every day. That's mean every second we have what? Thousand of attack every second. And see this? We have one. And we have 1 million ransomware activity in 1 year. Okay, that means many of the company actually suffer by by ransomware. Nearly, nearly many of them. Okay, uh, and in darknet, uh, here this one, dark radar. In darknet, we have 1 million something data leakage. So that's a lot. Uh, around 429, 400 something institution expose their data. Okay, so this is brutal actually. If we see the actual statistics, it's very dangerous. Okay, so feel free to check the report. Okay, the keyword is very simple. BSSN yearly report normally. Yearly report. Not BSN. Where is BSS? This one, annual report. Oh, annual, not yearly, annual. Annual report. Where is it? I forgot. Anyway, you can. Oh, here. Publication. Yeah. Nope. Okay. Here one. So it's under publication, and there is icon on annual report. So you can very slow, very slow. Okay, here annual report. The latest one is 2024. You can download and you can read. But basically, a lot of million of attack and hundred of institution suffer, and the problem is we have million of ransomware, so that's becoming a problem. That's why the auditing process becoming very important, because we have to make sure our organization is ready for this kind of thing. uh, because I am still in BSSN, I encourage you to search for this one. Index. OTS 1M. Kami index. Okay. I encourage you to download the Kami index from BSSN. Where is it? How come it's not number one? Man. Okay, this one. I have to use the more this kind of keyword. Index kami BSSN, this one. Okay. It is Excel file. It's very intuitive. Make sure your organization can fill the required document from the kami index. How come it's so slow, eh? Wow. Okay. Too slow. Okay. I will describe what this. So the likelihood, you can read the likelihood from the report. It's basically most likely our organization will be attacked because we have million of not normal traffic on Indonesian internet, and many of them are remote access Trojan or RAT, and then around million of ransomware traffic. So the likelihood is quite high, and the impact is very, very bad. As you know, I think last year the Indonesian National Data Center was down because of ransomware, and the year before is the Bank Syariah Indonesia also down because of the ransomware. So that's the biggest one. There are a lot of smaller one. They don't want to be exposed in the media, but there are a lot of them is actually uh, exposed to ransomware. So that's the threat is real. This is not something uh, something that we can ignore. This is real. The vulnerability of the attack is this thing accessing control is basically the ISO 27000. We have 112, I think, 100 something control that we need to evaluate. Okay, so some of them will be very critical for risk, and then we need to know also the technical exploit. Okay, now this is the high level risk management process. Okay, so basically we identify, we analyze, we evaluate, and we treat the risk. All of this process monitor and review, and then back again identify, risk, analyze, evaluate, treatment. Okay, so it's review, and within the organization we need to have a special what task force basically, and this task force need to communicate and consult to many other institutions as well as the higher level institution. Okay, so this is the risk management process. This is ISO 31000 2009. Okay, now the structure of the risk, there is, if we see the risk scenario, there is an actor, can be internal, external, threat type, nor whenever a person like me, when we teach, we normally teach you about the threat type. Uh, Normally, because we are technical guy, we normally teach about this one. But the other uh, aspect is non-technical basically. This is normally seen by people in forensic, and this thing is more management type of activity. So because I'm from the technical side, I normally teach about the type of threat, miscellaneous, accidental, error, failure, nature, and that kind of thing. So, and then I normally what's that, simulate the attack and so on too, so you know how the attack look like. Okay, but actually the actual attack, it can be done internally or externally. Okay, the major problem with the Indonesian institution, especially government, many of the actor can be internally or can be sort of external, but it's actually used to be internal. For example, consultant, because many of the software, the asset, the application, the platform was written by consultant. And then after the job finish, the consultant go away and leave the application in the office, in the institution. And many of the people within the institution, they are not the actual programmer. They don't realize that the platform has been what's that, injected by with not by with backdoors. So someone from outside can go to the internal of the organization and they can do anything from the inside. Okay, so that's happens a lot. It's by the contractor basically. Okay, uh, it may not be in your organization, but that's happened in the government banks. I can say something like this because some of my friends actually do the actual forensic for these banks and found these things. So many of the attack, if it is by actor, is most likely is the it's because of those kind of things. So the contractor, consultant, they build the application and they put a backdoor in the application so they can enter. Uh, Maybe the backdoor in the past, they create a backdoor so they can manage the platform. But the same backdoor can be used to do bad things. So that's the problem. Okay. So that's the risk scenario. And then from the event point of view, it can be because of many things. For example, ineffective design, ineffective execution, rule regulation, inappropriate use, and so on. So this is also part of the scenario. And also this asset resource, people, skill, organization, structure, process, infrastructure, facility, IT infrastructure, information appliance also can make up of this scenario. Okay. Uh, so to be honest, the scenario is can be very complex and highly depends on many things. And as the person who evaluate the risk, we need to understand all of these things. Okay, so we have to think, not maybe not understand. So we have to think the risk based on many things, based on the actor, based on the threat type, based on the event, based on the asset resource, based on time, and so on. Many of the risk is actually coming from people. So people is actually from my experience. From my experience, many of the risk is coming from people side because it's basically awareness, level of education, level of the technicalities, level of discipline, that kind of things. And that's creating a problem. That's why some of the, for example, this has happened in Bank Indonesia. I did what's that? I gave workshop about security awareness the other day, and then they asked me, Bank Indonesia asked me if they can get the because I have this class. Let me show you the class. What is this? Oh, this is BSSN. Okay. So I have a class on internet safety. So this you can access the class here in opencourse.itts.ac.id. There is a class on internet safety. And then the other day, Bank Indonesia asked me if they can have some of my questions of uh, the quiz, question for the quiz, and then they upload the questions to for user during login. Oops, overload. Okay, so every time person in Bank Indonesia login to the system, uh, so this is the one, this one, internet safety. So they ask me the question bank, so I give them the question bank. So every times the person in Bank Indonesia log into the system, it will ask one questions and they have to answer. So that's actually part of the effort to increase the safety awareness. Okay, because people is actually the major factor when there is a problem in the system. Okay, so the major factor is especially for big institution like Bank Indonesia or ministries. They have a lot of money, so they can buy equipment. Fine. The problem is the people. Okay. For small and medium enterprise, we have money problem, so we cannot buy good equipment, and also we don't have good people, so both hardware and humanware. For small medium enterprise, for ministries, maybe they have much better position. Okay. So this is the how the security control, evaluating the security control. Once risk is identified and prioritized, existing control should be analyzed to make sure their effectiveness in mitigation risk. Okay, this analysis will result in a final risk ranking. So we have to rank the risk. Whether is the control is adequate or inadequate or no control. So adequate, inadequate, or no control. This part is actually evaluate using the ISO 27000. Okay. The risk itself is ISO 31000. The control is 27000. Okay. Now, the important criteria in control selection is the cost of control should not exceed the value of asset it is protecting. That's why some of us actually sometimes we accept the risk because the value of the asset is less than the cost of controlling. The value, mind you, the value is not the cost of the hardware to store the asset actually. The value is for like data, the cost for storing the data is low, but the value is very high. So the cost for controlling the controlling the operation to secure the data is can be very very high. Now this oops okay. Now after we see the scenario, we see the risk analysis. We have risk. If risk is exceeding the risk appetite, then we can select the options. Okay, there are 4 options we have. Okay, avoid the risk, mitigate the risk, accept the risk, or share, transfer the risk. This one is share transfer means we buy insurance. Okay, so we can buy insurance if we want to share or transfer the risk. Okay, so these are 4 options to respond to the risk. Okay, avoid, mitigate. Mitigate means we need to implement cybersecurity. So this is very heavy on ISO 27000. Except basically we ignore we ignore the risk. So okay, we ignore the risk. So sometimes we need to accept the risk. Okay. The parameter we normally see in responding the risk, the efficiency of the response, the exposure of the risk, the capacity to implement the response, the effectiveness of the response. So these are the parameter in risk response. Okay. So after selecting the response option, we respond to the risk. We need to prioritize the risk response. Okay, we can see the priority from this table here. Let me see. Okay. here we have risk level and cost benefit ratio. Basically, if the risk level is low and the cost is low, it's low priority. If it is risk level is high, cost benefit ratio is low, it's normal. If the risk is low, cost benefit ratio is high, it's also not normal priority. So we have normal priority, low priority. We need to specially focus on the high priority. This is high risk level and high benefit cost ratio. So we normally focus on the high priority, this one. The other one, the normal one, we can do the this kind of thing, mitigate for normal one. If low priority, sometimes we can accept or whatever. On the high priority, sometimes we have to share or transfer the risk. One of the example is Bank Sentral Asia (BCA). In the internet banking section, for example, they have a hacker to pen test the system. Behind this is international hacker. This is not Indonesian hacker. This is international hacker. So they ask the international hacker to pen test the system, and then they pay insurance. Behind the hacker, they have insurance as well. So the system pen test by the hacker, and then there is an insurance company behind the hacker. If there is if there is things happens with the cybersecurity in BCA, they will the insurance will pay. So if the priority is high, then they will pay something like this, mitigate and share transfer, both simultaneously. So sometimes the risk response they mix between these two several response into one, especially in high priority. Okay. Okay, now risk response. Let me see. Oops. Oh, this is the thing. Okay, same thing. We can avoid, we can transfer insurance, we can accept, we can mitigate, reduce. So basically, this is the risk response strategy. But we can mix this strategy. It's not necessary only one strategy. We can mix. For example, this is the visualization of the how we manage the risk. Okay, if it is high but low impact, we just we can go or we can accept this kind of risk, because if the impact is low, we can just go. Okay, especially this one, low probability, low impact, that's fine. Okay, this is low probability, high impact. This is dangerous. If this is high probability, high impact, we have to think many times before we go. Okay, so this is the high priority. This one is the low risk. This one is normal. This one, well, we need to mitigate. This one, high priority. Okay. In the there is a subtle difference between event and incident. Okay. Event based on the NIST. This is the standard body in US. Define event as any observable occurrence in the system or network. Okay, this is occurrence, not necessary by people, by person. It's sometimes not planned. Okay, so this is event. While NIST, the same organization, define incident as violation, imminent threat of violation of computer security policy, acceptable use policy, and standard security practice. So incident is violation, threat. Event is something that happens to the system. For example, is if there is earthquake, that's event. That's not incident. Okay, so there are two different things: event and incident. Okay, why incident response? This is to ensure that incident occur or not. We need to collecting accurate information. This is very important for forensic purposes. Taking and handling incident evidence. Keep activity within the legal framework. Okay, especially for example the data privacy. This is very heavy right now because we have Privacy Data Act in Indonesia, and that will cost billion of rupiah. So that's a lot of problem. If it is an organization, it will cost 10 times of billion. So that's a lot of money. And then we want to make sure we want to minimize disruption of business and network operation, and we want to make sure to make accurate report and recommendation. That's why we need to incident response. Okay, so this actually goes to ISO 27000. But we need to evaluate from the risk side first. Type of incident, it's event that done planned by attacker, will give negative impact to these things: confidentiality, integrity, availability of data. This is called CIA. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. Okay, so that's cybersecurity. Cybersecurity incident may be unintentional, maybe if someone forgetting to activate the access list of the router, or intentional because of targeted attack by hacker. Okay, there are many types of security related incident. New type of incident emerge frequently. US CERT. CERT means Security Emergency Response Team. Provide category incident in Exhibit 5.1. Okay, this is the Exhibit 5.1. Unauthorized access, denial of service, miscellaneous code, improper usage, screen probe attempt access, investigation. Investigation is sometimes it can be legal if it is asked by the organization. So sometimes organization will ask the pen tester to penetration test their own system. That's legal. That's part of investigation. But pen test without request, that's illegal. So we have like 6 category like this. Okay. This is incident response life cycle. Basically, we have detection, analysis, containment, and recovery. So the inner circle will cycle all the time. And then if there is incident, we have post-incident activities, and then we have planning and so on to prepare for another detection analysis. So we actually, this kind of curve, meaning that in the process, we have to learn from what happened, and we have to plan again. We have to replan, we have to reinstall the system to make sure we can detect, analyze properly for newer threat. Okay, so this process, this is the same thing with ISO 27000. We have to do these things as well. Okay, so there is a preparation. This is to plans, how this is handle, and so on. Establishing roles, and we have to make sure everybody knows its roles. Okay, this is not only about technical. In big organization, these plan roles and so on is also for keeping the trust from users, from stakeholders, from everybody. So they want to make sure everybody keep their trust to the system. And many of these things is fail actually during the Indonesian data center collapse couple of months ago. We actually lost trust on the data center one run by the Ministry of Komdigi. Okay, because they don't plan well to handle the incident. Okay, and detection and analysis is capability to identify incident as early as possible, effectively assess the nature of the incident and so on. So these things is actually run. It can be done automatically. We call it, sometimes we, let me see. Okay. So we can install the application, something like SIM, security SIM apps. Okay. This is security incident, basically security dashboard apps. No, I don't want this one. This is basic. Maybe I can show you the snapshot of the this one. So basically a dashboard. Many of the SIM is free, open source. There are a lot of SIM that we have to pay as well. But the free one, you can read my book actually, and the publisher. If you talk to the guy in your IT ops publisher, if you talk to the guy in the IT department of your department, so we publish this book. Where is it? Okay, this one. Okay, buku pegangan penanganan insiden cyber. In this book, we provide like what, 6, 7 SIM solution, open source, free. Okay, so there are a lot of free. Wow, no stock anywhere except in Jogja. Still have 600 of them. So this book is very critical. This book is written, if we, can I see the writer? Wow, okay. We are having difficulty to see the writer name. So basically this book is, oh, up, no, I cannot see it. So basically it's written by the staff of the Diskom Info in Tangerang Selatan, the South Tangerang City. We actually write this book when we were attacked by online gambling. Okay, they actually attacking a lot of the websites, the government website. At that time, I was with them, and then they attacked the system, and I I see that many of my colleagues actually having problem with this, and they actually make a lot of mistakes, and I document everything, and then we publish as a book now. Okay, so it can be used as handbook, how to solve any cyber attack in, especially in government institution. Okay, so some of the solution is the automatic dashboard like this, security operation center, uh, and many times we call it SIEM. This will implement or deploy a lot of agent in the server in the system, and then the agent will report to the dashboard, and the dashboard can monitor what happened. And this, of course, you can also always buy the commercial solution, but many of the government they don't have that much money to pay the like this one Palo Alto Networks. That's very expensive. So we use the open source. The main problem with open source software, we need a person that quite capable. They have the knowledge on Linux and everything uh, when we want to implement this kind of thing. So it's easy if we have the a good person. It's difficult if we don't have any person. The problem with many of the government offices, they don't have any good person. So we are in big trouble actually. And I can check over here in Dark Radar, we can see a lot of the data actually leakage from the government offices. But I forgot my password. I have to check later. Okay, that's SIM. Okay, investigation basically forensic activity, mitigation and recovery basically implement the cybersecurity tools, and position analysis also analyzing the forensic report. This is the what kind of thing we need to do in preparation process. This is basically the planning process, the policy, and so on, empowerment of the user, and so on. This is have to be done, and this is what happened in identification of the thing. Okay, let me skip this and move to the other one, the information security management. This is the not the new ISO 27000. The new one we have only what smaller number of control. Okay, this is the older, the old version of ISO 27000. But basically the essence is very similar, but the latest ISO 27000 it also cover the privacy as well. So this one is privacy is not covered very well covered yet, but the newer one is covered. If you can download the where is the Kami index? Where is Kami index? No. Let me see if I can download now. Okay, let me see I can download from here. Okay. It is a Excel file actually. Okay. Let me see I have in my computer. Let me see cybersecurity. Okay. Okay. So I have in my computer. This So basically, it's an Excel file. Let me see if I can. Nope. Zoom. Okay. Let me see. So basically, let me give you some overview first, because basically in Kami Index, it will cover the ISO 27000. It will cover the privacy, data privacy of our organization and so on. Okay. Let me give you the overview. So I will zoom out. I will show the entire page. Oh, let me see if I can. Okay. So so basically here, this is the organization name and so on. That's normal. But this zoom, let's wait up. Okay. So it will cover several things. This one is the electronic system. We have governance. We have risk management. We have this is the information security management. Okay, and we have asset management. We have technology. We have data privacy. We have other things. And then after we enter all of these things, then we can see our condition here. The best one, if all of this item receive 5. Okay, so management, risk management, framework, asset management, technology, data, it's all 5 is okay. If not, then we so basically this is like self evaluation of our organization, and then we can tell with the condition of our organization. So make sure you can download of this thing, or I can send by email to you guys if you like. I hope this one is not big enough, so I can send by email, and then you can evaluate your own organization when you see this in every questions. We need to submit this one, the document basically. So basically, in this kind of auditing, they audit the document. Okay, whether we have the document or not. Okay, for example, this is the investment. How much? But we need to fill in the document. We need to upload the document. The most important thing is the this one in security, information security management. Okay, see the first questions. The head of your organization, is he responsible to the execution of information security program? Okay, and we have to show the document here. Okay, so that's why this is actually very top-down approach, and this actually very document approach. We have a problem with that, of course, because of course the document, we can generate the document very easy if you use the chat GPT and so on. It's very easy to document. So from the document point of view, generating the document is not that difficult actually today, because we have chat GPT. So we can use ChatGPT to do this thing. The problem is we have to make sure that our document is implemented. running in the system. So that's our biggest problem right now. So of course, I talk about this with the friend at the BSSN, and then yeah, okay. Most of the tool for auditing is ISO is basically document based. Okay, of course there are things that they actually evaluate. For example, they can do penetration tests, they can do stress tests, so they can also do those things, but it's not as heavy as document. Okay, so document is very heavy right now. So hopefully this gives you some idea. And this is a lot of document we need to submit. Okay, we have to prepare a lot of document. For example, risk. We have to prepare this kind of document is not that easy. We this is a lot of document, and we, for example, especially in the technology part, we have to implement these things. Okay, for example, is there any see this kind of question? So we have to make sure that uh, the system is implemented, evaluate, monitor, and everything. Okay. For example, this is about the log. This is the intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system, web firewall, and so on. So if we are serious, this is not only document basically, actually, but many of the institution see this, especially the top-down management, they see this as document approach. So that's the problem. Okay, but hopefully you can do more than that. So you can do something that more than document. Okay, let me see if I have any question so far. So this is from Pak Putu Surya Nugraha. I want to ask, based on the complexity of having ISO 27000, I have a business company running on information technology sector. In my company, we have applied best security risk management practice on our daily routine, but we don't have any ISO certificate yet. Suppose I have less than 50 employee, do the ISO 27000 really mandatory on my business? What is the big impact having ISO 27 certificate? Thank you. Okay. I will be honest to you guys. To be honest. So, why ISO 27000 is important? If we, for example, Pak Putu is actually in his company around 50 people. They actually they actually embed the cybersecurity activity and so on in their company. It's okay. Okay, when we deploy the application for public, if we run a platform, for example, like this. For example, we run Tokopedia. Okay, this one. Or we run application in Google Apps. Okay, Google Store, Play Store. Okay, do they need ISO 27000? The answer is yes, because it required by ComDG. Okay, it's in the act. So ComDG have rule and regulation. I forgot the name. What's his name? So let me see if I can find. This is PSE, penyelenggara sistem elektronik. I'm not good in regulation, see, because I'm this one. This is the one. Okay. Oh, not this one. No, 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 no. Not this one. Okay. Okay, basically, I forgot the number of the regulation. Basically, ComDigi, based on their regulation, I forgot the year and the number of regulation, but it's called PSE, Penyelenggara Sistem Elektronik. So everyone who deploy the application for public, this is for public, not for internal application. So this is for public. You need to register your application to ComDigi. During the registration process, okay, this one. Oops. So, so during the wow, this is Pak Johnny Plate. He's in the jail. Okay, during the registration process, we need to we need when we register the PSE, the application to ComDigi, we need to submit the ISO 27000 certificate. So that's where the certificate is needed. Okay, if you run your application for your own purposes, that's okay. You don't need the ISO 27000 actually, but you can download the index kami from BSSN to do self check for yourself, so you don't have to to pay any consultant, so you can do self check. But if you run the application for public, then you need to register to ComDigi, and for the registration in ComDigi, we need to submit the ISO 27000 certificate. So that's where the certificate is needed. Okay, for the registration in ComDigi. Other than that, I think it's okay. Okay, if you use for your own purposes, you don't need to register. Okay, so I hope I answer Pak Putu questions. But make sure you actually evaluate your own cybersecurity system in the office, because that's very important. Okay, not so this is not only for Pak Putu, so every one of you, make sure you evaluate your cybersecurity, because if anything happens, it may influence not only yourself, but maybe your neighbor, your friends, and so on. Okay, so that's the that's the problem with cybersecurity. For example, some of my friend telling me that someone what's that, pretend to be Ono in WhatsApp and so on. So that kind of thing. So many of us actually know that Ono is not really using WhatsApp, but people try to use WhatsApp on my behalf. So that happens. Okay. Okay. Now back to, so that's the index kami. Make sure you download, and you if if you are not deploying any public application, this is not really needed, but at least you know what is important. For example, in the this one, in cybersecurity management, okay, we need to identify, this is the management process. This is nothing to do with the technology. Then here the question is like this: who's responsible on what? Okay, so we need to make sure who's responsible on what thing, what kind of activity. So we need to do these things, and we need to have internal audit. So somebody have to do the audit internally, and we need to make sure this guy is not doing the auditor and the auditee is not the same. So we have segregation of power in this kind of thing. So we have to make sure we have this kind of thing, okay? That the auditor and the auditee is different people. We have segregate these things, and we have internal audit, this kind of thing. So we need to have this kind of thing. So you can read the questions, and then you will know, okay, whether our organization is good enough or we need to improve on what aspect. This is not for ISO 27000 per se, but it's for our own goods basically. Okay, this is good. Good. What's that? Good roadmap basically if we want to make sure our system is running. Okay. Okay. Now, how many minutes do I have? I have around 30 minutes. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So this is more on the ISO 27000 Information Security Management System. Also, we have the Indonesian National Standard, also 27000, basically the same thing. Okay, so this is basically procedure and policy to manage sensitive data. Okay, systematically manage the sensitive data. So basically, the objective of the ISO 27000 to minimize the risk, make sure the business is running okay, and then ISO 27000 is specific for information security. Okay, so this one is specific for information security. If we want something more general, we cannot use this one. Okay, what kind of thing? Couple of days, several weeks ago, actually, some of my friends evaluate their business, and then we use this one, and then we find, okay, this is only for information. If we want to do more general things for like business and this kind of stuff, this is not suitable actually. Okay. So this is the ISO 27000 is published by ISO, built by a lot of security expert. Can be used for any industry, any company. A couple thousand company has been certified, independent. It's not based on certain products. It has many standard in it. 27,000 itself is basically the vocabulary, the dictionary of the technology. The actual standard is this one, the 27,001. Okay. This slide is based on 2013 release, but I think 2 years ago or something, I forgot. There is a new release, and so this is a little bit different than this one. The number of control is smaller, so they compress the control into smaller number, because this is like what, like 112 control, so we need to compress. And then I think they also include the data privacy as well, of course. And then the other thing is code of practice, guidance for implementation, and so on. So the other standard. The problem with this ISO standard is we need to buy the standard. So that's creating a problem because we have to buy. Okay, but this is not good because I steal some of the documentation from the let me see if I have it. You are welcome to send your disk to me and I can copy far data library to books. Where is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity. I have folder on ISO 27000, ISO 31000. This is for risk. See this? A lot of Excel file. This is basically template. And this one is also template, but if you have the index kami template, it's okay. We can use that to for a start. But this one also I have some cheating. Not cheating, basically. This is a book on ISO 27000 environment, what kind of thing we need to make sure and so on. So this is a good guidance actually for these things. You are welcome to send your disk or flash disk and copy this from me, but don't tell anyone you get it from me because this is stealing. We need to steal sometimes. See this? Oh, this is dissertation, doctoral degree in Hamburg. Okay, a good one. Okay, so it's good. It's okay. You can read this and then okay, basically a lot of books, lot of Excel file. So Excel file is very helpful because it's I have index kami as well here. Okay, I put it here as well. So we have templates and we have books, guidance, handbook to fill these things. The problem is we have to spend some time to read these things. So I will give you some overview of these things. So hopefully it will minimize your time to understand these things. Okay. So basically we have, if we see the family of ISO 27000, we have the vocabulary, the dictionary. We have the requirement. This is the 27,000, and we have the guidance, a lot of guidance here, and we have also some sector specific guidance. Okay, and then after that we have control specific guidance of the standard. So basically we have vocab, requirement, guidance, sector specific, and control specific. Okay, standard. Okay. What we normally read is this one, the requirement. If we need to see some terms, we can check the ISO 27000. The requirement is 27001. The rest, the guidance is this one. Okay, but all of this is we have to pay for this, so I don't have these things, to be honest. I don't want to pay. So I read from other books. The writer read this standard. Okay. So we do risk assessment. So this is ISO 31000. We do the risk assessment. Sometimes we also you may find application to do risk assessment. There are application to do these things as well. And then this is the old ISO 27000. We have 114 controls. Okay, for security controls. But now I think much less than this, around. So this is too much, too many. So they reduce the number of controls, but actually the essence is the same. But so they combine several controls into one control or something like that. So it's becoming less control. So Annex A is basically it's the security control that we need to implement to make sure information security management system is running. So this is the keyword, security control. Okay, that's in Annex A. We have 114 controls. Okay, what kind of control we have? We have policy, we have compliance, we have access control, cryptography, we have physics, operational security, communication security, acquisition, vendor relation, and so on. Oh, this one is dangerous one because in vendor relation is the third party. If we have not blockchain, supply chain. So this is important because especially in business process, in business company, sometimes the attack is through vendor. So we call it supply chain attack. So this is becoming important now. But it's not only in business process now, maybe the government also have the same kind of problem, especially if we do all the vendor relation through electronic. Okay. We can do supply chain attack, and that's happened in the customer of Bank Central Asia. Okay, that's what happened in the customer of Bank Central Asia, and because of that, I was invited by Bank Central Asia to solve their problem. So this is not Bank Central Asia problem. This is their customer problem because in their supply chain they interact by email, and there is no encryption in their email, so hacker can hack and do very nasty things by ordering several container of goods from China to Indonesia. So this is very dangerous actually. This is supply chain attack, and I happen to see what happened. And that's cost hundred of million rupiah to the company. This one. Okay. So this is actually very important, but not many people realize these things. Okay. If I note this in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, mostly of the IT guys is coming from this sector, cryptography, I think. I thought, oh yeah, when is it? Let me see. Yo, oops, sorry. 20, 29. 1, 2, 3. 3 weeks from now. Yeah, I think. 3 weeks from now, on the 29th of April, I will give workshop in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I think. This is not the whole ministry. This is only for the IT guy. They asked me to give workshop on large language model, ChatGPT, how to build their own ChatGPT. So I will give talk to the Minister of Foreign Affairs on the 29th of April, because I know many of you are actually coming from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. If you want to join, ask the people of the what's that? The IT division. I think that will be held in Pejambon. I think, I don't know. They have not tell me the location yet. So this is the Annex A. Annex A5, 6, 7 to 18, and this is the example Annex A7. We have Annex A711 screening. This is the background check of all the candidates, human resource, term of condition of employee. So they actually do this thing. Then that's a lot of things have to be checked here. So basically the whole process is this. The cycle of the process is this. We have planning process from the leadership, commitment, policy, and so on. And then the planning process, we have risk, and so on. This is the planning process. And then also we have organization context, we have support, and then after planning, we have to do operation, implement of the what we are planning. So plan, do, and then check. In checking process, we normally use Security Operation Center, SIEM, and so on to monitor the process in the system. And then if there is anything happens, we act. So what we normally do is plan, do, check, act. Normally we call it PDCA. Plan, do, check, act. Then and the cycle will always continue. It never stop. Plan, do, check, act. That's the problem with the many of the government institution. They normally plan, do, implement. That's it. Because of the budget. Budget is yearly budget. They can only plan and implement. Then that's it. They cannot check and act and plan again. So the cycle is cut off in many of the government institutions. So that's creating a problem. So this actually a cycle that always running. Okay, plan, do, check, act. So PDCA is the actual process we normally do. In planning, we set the policy, procedure, objective, and so on. Okay, but a good planning is normally based on the data we have on our system. So we need to evaluate our system first, check the data, check the any. So a good planner normally will have a lot of data before we can do the actual plan. So a planning process is we cannot just grab from the air and then we plan something. That's impossible actually. But in many instances, I see these things happening. When they are planning, they want, okay, I want to be the best data center in compared to the other institution. Okay, that's okay. That's part of the planning, but actually, the actual planning, we need to know what kind of business process is happening in the organization and so on. Okay, and do is to implement and operate the what we are planning, and this part is the most difficult part because we need, if we want to make sure what we are doing is properly implement, we need to have a good human resource in this do section. Okay, and that's becoming a problem in many of the government institution because the human resource is not designed to operate things. The human resource is designed to run, to manage the system, to manage the organization, but not running a technical system like that. So we are lacking of not many technical guy. So many what I see is the many of the technical guy is actually consultant and this kind of thing. So that's the problem. It's not only government. I will give a workshop tomorrow actually to the military. They have the same problem actually. When they ask, oh no, can you give? This is nothing to do with cybersecurity. This is more on the data science, how to evaluate the social media and stuff like that. They are thinking when I ask them, I want to give you a workshop how to build the software to analyze the social media, and then they said, "Can you give me only the overview?" Because they don't have the capacity to code, to do the actual coding. So that's when they are going to do things, we are in big trouble because they actually don't have the actual the person have not the don't have the capacity to do those things. Okay, so that's plan, do, check, act. Okay, and that's always cycle. In planning, we have organizational context, the leadership and so on. Okay, so we can see these things, and in every point like this, we need to have document. Okay, that's the problem with ISO 31,000, ISO 27,000. We need document on all these things. Uh, yeah, okay, document may help us to guide us to be on the right track. But if only document and the document is not read by all the member or all the people in the organization, uh, from the auditing point of view, maybe it's okay, but in the implementation point of view, it's not working actually. Okay, so same thing here. PDCA, we need these things. Okay, same thing with the competence. Many of the, for example, for this one, for the competence, this is a friend from the Ministry of what, Pan RB, the what, government human resource, something like that. Okay, when they ask, they are looking for person that can do pen test, and the a lot of people have the document, they have the certificate for certified ethical hacking. So a lot of people have this kind of certificate, but when they ask these people to do the actual pen test to certain server, they have prepared the server, and many of these guys cannot do the actual pen test. So yes, they have certificate from this point 7.2 competence is, yeah, they have certificate, but to actually do the job, they have no the capacity is not there, so that's become a problem. Okay, so we have uh, we have this is the ISO 27000. We need document on policy and standard. Okay, this is the strategic level. In operation center, we have guidance and so on, and the optional. This is the optional for. We have this kind of thing for form and so on. The output is uh, we have the output of all of this thing. Then we have the all the requirement for ISO 27000. This is basic compliance, and then we have the document related to control, security control, and then we need to define the method to do risk assessment and profiling risk of the organization, and then we need to always measure, analyze, and act on any problem in the security. So this is the example of ISO 27000 from for the people. So basically we have three pillar. We call it PPT, people, process, technology. And this is very important. PPT. Most of the implementation of ISO 27000, most of the director, the CEO, CIO, something like that. The if it is in military, the general, they will focus on technology. They all many of these thing always think if we have the technology, everything is solved. Okay, so they buy the firewall, access control, machine, network monitoring, log management, and so on. So they normally allocate a lot of money for this thing, for the technology. Okay, if we are from the I am from the technology guy. Me personally, I will use open source for these things. So the technology can be very, very cheap because it's open source. Okay. Of course, the hardware we need to buy, but the software on top of the hardware, it can be free open source. So we can use open source on this one. Okay. So then we have uh, the remaining fund, the remaining budget we can do for this one for people. For process is basically we can create policy and procedure process. This is not that cost effective. So this is not that expensive. Policy and procedure not expensive. The hardware is expensive. Policy and procedure not expensive, but we need to invest on this one a little bit. A lot of these things we need to invest on people, especially for the internal. We need to create awareness, uh, create a group for cybersecurity and so on. So we have for the internal. For the third party, we need to and this one is the most dangerous one, especially in government, because many of the activity is done by consultant and contractor. So this becoming a lot of creating a lot of problem. I have been trying many times to what to convince the this is like uh, I interact mostly with the army, and this is we are looking at 2 star, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star general. Okay, they because of the structure of the organization, the cycle of the person is quite high. Okay, it means they have to perform within short time, like couple of months, say in 1 year. They have to have some results. Because of that, they tend to buy technology, and then when they buy technology, they tend to ask third party to implement. The problem with that, they ignore the internal people. So I try in many times, I try to convince the generals, how about the third party replaced by the internal? I teach the internal to build their own firewall, intrusion prevention system, and so on. And that's not in their agenda because just to give you some idea, for example, I train one of the organization on communication. Takes me about 1.5 year to train 60 people. Only 2 people managed to pass my training. From 60, only 2 pass after 1.5 year. That's why this is difficult actually. This is this is easy to type, but implementation it's tough. Okay. Okay, I have about 5 minutes. Let me see if I have more times. Okay, basically this is myth of ISO 27000. This is an IT job. Actually, it's not. It's about writing policy and procedure. Uh, yes, but it's better not only focus on these two. We'll get lost in all those documents. Yeah, that's what happened. It will be implemented in 2 months. No, in reality, it's not that. Okay, let me see if I have another. Okay, no more questions. Okay, I hope it's okay for today. So make sure you do your exam in the course. So let me see. The course is this one. make sure the number of the course is 111, triple one. Okay, just click any course, change the number to 111. You will enter your course and then do this exam here. Do this exam. Okay. So good luck. Hopefully we will meet again next week. I hope I'm okay next week because I will do the course remotely from Bandung. Okay, thank you. Mohon maaf lahir batin. See you next week.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank
sir.
you, thank you. Bye bye.